Hello everyone, I am Dr. Sirajul Akwazi. I welcome you in my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to talk about multiple displacement reactions and the coupling of ATP cleavage to endergonic process. So friend, this topic belongs to bioorganic chemistry semester 3, a very important topic. So let us start learning of this topic. You know, in ATP means adenosine triphosphate. The phosphate group nearest to the ribose is termed as alpha phosphate group, and while the other phosphate are labeled as beta and gamma. Suppose that this phosphate, this three phosphate, so alpha, beta and delta. Adenosine diphosphate and adenosine triphosphate are involved in oxidative phosphorylations. So this is the ATP, this portion adenosine triphosphate here. Now, you know, in the cell, the conversion of ADP to ADP means diphosphate to triphosphate is used to store energy stored करने के लिए. This energy can become readily available by the conversion of ATP to ADP, because you know here storing of energy in the form of phosphorus or an oxygen bond. So this energy producing system is a cyclic process in the cell. You can see, if you have ADP, if you supply this phosphoric acid, supplies this amount of energy, then ATP will form. ADP react with this water and give ATP and phosphoric acid and huge amount of energy. Now, ATP is one of the most important compound in the cell since it's two-terminal phosphate. Two-terminal phosphate means we have the maximum 3. So phosphate group are linked by the high energy phosphate bond. That is, it has 2 energy rich bond and it has high potential for group transfer. Group transfer means total phosphate, depending on the nature of the bond of the ATP molecule, which reacts, it can transfer following 4 different types of groups. So first, transfer of orthophosphate group with the release of ADP, transfer of the pyrophosphate group with the release of AMP, transfer of adenosyl monophosphate group with the release of pyrophosphate, an activated compound, transfer of adenosyl groups with the release of orthophosphate as well as pyrophosphate. Now you can see here this POP plus PP RIB AD. So if you have this structure, here 1 phosphate, 2 phosphate, 3 phosphate. So on reactions, this is the alpha A reactions, then this phosphate, and reactions with the BROH, it gives this. On reductions on this center, 2 phosphate RCOO and phosphate RIB. Here you can see reactions D, breaking of carbon and oxygen bond. So this portion there is no reaction. Here sugar portion. So all reactions whatever I am going to show you here is the group transfer like phosphate and some group we are using for this. So this is a reaction of ATP. Now, out of the 4 reaction is the most common in the case the orthophosphate residue is transferred to water hydrolysis results. Enzyme catalyzing these reactions are known as adenosine triphosphate. We call it in simple language ATPases. Reactions B means if here B this one. This one is A, not alpha. B. Transference. So, transference of pyrophosphate group occurs rarely. On one example is the conversion of ribose 5-phosphate to 5-phosphoribose 1-pyrophosphate PRPP. You can see the phosphoribose 1-pyrophosphate. Now reaction C. You can see here this portion. This reaction, transference of adenosine monophosphate, is again quite common. Now reaction D, this one, transfer of adenosyl residue plays a part in the formation of active methyl groups. So it is important to note that ATP is not the only reactive triphosphate. Other purine or pyrimidine bases may take the place of the adenine in the molecule. The corresponding triphosphate replace ATP in the several metabolic reactions, in general by analogy with the AMP. AMP means monophosphate, diphosphate, ATP triphosphate. The nucleoside guanosine, uridine, cytidine, inosine from GMP, GDP, GTP, UMP, UDP, UTP, CMP, CDP, CTP, IMP, IDP and ITP. So, the ATP in this process becomes available to drive all those processes which require energy. Actually, the number of examples where ATP is utilized is as great as the number of types of physiological work carried by the cell. The summary of various processes involving endergonic reaction is represented in figure 6.8. You can see this one. So, ATP, you can have the 1, 2, 3, 4th process, that is the exergonic reaction, and ATP gives synthesis, muscular contractions, nervous excitation, active transport, endergonic reactions. So this is the pictorial diagram of ATP as a common currency of bioenergetics. Now, ATP represents the energy currency of the cell. Let us discuss one example, synthesis of benzoyl glycine. This is one compound. To show how ATP is used, the synthesis of benzoyl glycine, we called it hippuric acid, does not proceed spontaneously as written below. You have the benzoic acid, you have glycine, it gives hippuric acid and water. So this reaction is not occurring very easily. Actually, the synthesis occurs in the animal body by expenditure of the chemical work, and it is endergonic. So this, now you understand, this reaction is not easily happen, but you can do this reaction in an animal body. So what will happen in animal body? Benzoic acid take this ATP and then convert benzoyl adenylate and pyrophosphate enzyme bond, and benzoic acid coenzyme A, benzoyl coenzyme A, AMP enzyme bond. Both the above reactions are reversible because in each case the bond broken and bond formed are energetically equivalent. Now, once the benzoyl coenzyme A is formed, it reacts with the amino group of glycine to form hippuric acid. So इस हिप्यूरिक एसिड को आप एनिमल के बॉडी के अंदर इजीली बना सकते हैं, लेकिन इसमें क्या हुआ, एनिमल्स की बॉडी ने क्या इसको सप्लाई किया कि रिएक्शंस हो पाया? एटीपी. सो बेंजाइल कोएंजाइम ए ग्लाइसिन, इट गिव बेंजाइल ग्लाइसिन एंड कोएंजाइम ए रिप्लेस हो गया. ये आपकी जो टारगेट थे वो मिल गए. This reaction is reversible and takes place only in the right side because the energy level of the thioester linkage in benzoyl coenzyme A is considerably above that of the peptide N-amide in benzoyl glycine. So, in other example where ATP is utilized, the same general pattern is followed. So, a direct reaction between ATP and the substrate occurs. Work is performed and inorganic phosphate or pyrophosphate is produced from the original high energy phosphate bond. The same mechanism is believed to occur in mechanism like in muscle contraction. So my friend, so osmosis as in the secretions, absorptions in kidney functions, and electrical as in the nervous system and work where ATP is utilized. So this is the main target. If some reaction is not occurring without any help, so we need animal body, we utilize the ATP and doing the reactions in the animal body. I hope this topic to clear to you, and if you read several times and you make this graph several times, definitely some portions of concept will accept your brain. Thanks for watching.